For any meaningful economy to progress, there must be smart and busy people. People like bankers, people like engineers, people like doctors, people like pharmacists, and many career people that we have all over the world. There must be these people in order for any economy to progress. Of course, imagine a world without a doctor. Imagine a world without bankers that make sure that our money is safe. But the problem is that in most industry, you see that it is not those smart people that dominate those industry. It is not those smart people that make money in those industry. Let me use the pharmaceutical industry, for example. If you go to many pharmacy, you can go and check it around. You see that most of the big pharmacies that you have around are not owned by pharmacists. They are owned by business people. And then these ones employ pharmacists because you can be book smart, but you fail to be street smart. And it is also there in agriculture. For instance, most of the professors that we have in agriculture and those that study agriculture in their masters and degree are not the ones that are making any effort or that are making the big waves in agriculture. You see that some people are people like engineers, people that are even from the medical line, biomedical line, chemistry. These are the ones that come into the field of agriculture and make it big. The reason is not far-fetched. The reason is that most people pursue career. They pursue their career because they want to get to the peak of their career. And it is not a bad thing. Nobody will say it is a bad thing that a doctor wants to get to the peak of his career. Nobody will say it's a bad thing that a banker wants to get to the peak and become probably even the branch manager, regional manager, or head of sales, things like that. But does it translate to money? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how smart people, very busy people, whether they are abroad or whether they are in Nigeria or whether they are anywhere in the world, how these people can leverage on agriculture in order for them to make money. What are some smart moves they can make while keeping their day job? Hi, my name is Simeon Odi. They call me Showboy. I live and reside in the United Kingdom. I'm a struggling farmer, and on this channel, we talk about agriculture, we talk about debt management, we talk about life abroad. If this seems to what interests you, consider joining our community. Now, without further ado, let us go straight to the point of today. What are some things that smart people need to do in order for them to leverage on agriculture without keeping their job? The number one that I always love to talk about is storage. The number one I always like to talk about is storage. For instance, this means that you can store agricultural products right now and then sell it later. It might be anything in your locality. It might be anything in your locality. Some people are storing ogbono as we speak right now. Some people store pepper during the December period, the chili pepper. Some people store cassava. People store so many things. So look at what interests you. Look at the numbers that is there and you can store it because you do not have to be there in order to make money from it. Another thing you can do is to rent agricultural equipment. Now, let me tell you a story. There was this time that the time I farmed rice. So when I farmed this rice, we discovered that the rice during harvest, it was a whole lot of hard work to harvest it. The beating of the rice, the cutting of the rice, the everything. But there was this man that positioned himself. He was a civil servant, and then this man had a tractor. The first time that we farm the rice, we want to hallow the rice, we use his tractor, sorry. And we paid him a whole lot of money. I think as of that time, we paid him about 400,000 naira. And we were the one that bought diesel. We paid him 400,000 naira. This is more than 10 years ago. We paid him 400,000 naira in order to hallow our rice. That is just us. That is just us. So imagine how much that man would have made from that tractor during that period. Okay. Now, apart from that, when we wanted to harvest, The man came back and he had equipment. He have the, what do they call it? There is a cutter and the beater, something that remove the rice from the shelf. I don't know what it's called, but he has those equipment. He came with it with a truck and he used that equipment and he gave it to us. So we have to pay him another money to use those equipment. So smart people can also leverage on it. You know that most problem that agriculture have is that people do not have the right tools. People do not have the right tools. That is why we have so many arable lands, so many lands that are fertile that we cannot cultivate. This is because people in the villages do not have the right tools. The only tools they have is to marry more wives. So if you want to plant more field, you marry more wives so that you can born more children so that they can be helping you to plant. And you know, we cannot continue to marry and continue to born more children. So we need tools there. The government are supposed to provide the tools, but since the government have failed in doing it, it is an opportunity for private entrepreneurs like us. I watched with dismay and cry a certain policeman. This policeman finished as a superintendent of a superintendent of police, a chief superintendent of police. And then he was saying that his take home was about 2 million naira. That is 3 million naira, 1 million naira was arrears. He spent 35 years of his life working for Nigeria. And at the end of the day, what Nigeria could give him was 2 million naira. Now, I do not know the history of the man, how he invested his life when he was serving as a police officer. But I can deduce from the tone of his voice and the way he was crying that this man have not been able to set up investment that will be able to help him plan his retirement well. Because if he had been able to do that, I don't think that he will be thinking about the police money. That he will be thinking about how much the police will give him. He will not even be interested in that. So the question you'll be asking yourself right now is, do you want to end up with that kind of, as that kind of man that will have to come on social media to seek pity? He might be just saying it, probably he's not seeking pity or he's not seeking anything. But coming to social media shows that it has pained this old man that is supposed to be enjoying the fruit of his labor right now. So what is your retirement plan? So when we are talking about all this storage, when we are talking about all this renting of agricultural equipment, we are not talking about something that is far-fetched. We are talking about things you can do. Now, smart people should also leverage on fish farming. Let me tell you the truth. Fish farming is one of the ways that smart people can make money. If you have a house right now and you have a channel where you can dispose water, I will tell you to go and build a fish pond in your house. Fish is not like chicken that at the end of the day you start looking for most buyer to buy it. There's sales for fish already. There is demand for fish. All you need to do is to plug into the right demand. And then when you want to leave for work in the morning, you feed them. When you want to come back in the night, you feed them. With time, I can assure you that that fish farm is going to replace the salary that you are earning from your job. There is this woman that is based in Port Harcourt. I think they call her the wifey farm, the wifey media or Nigeria wifey. She's a civil servant and she's into fish farming. She started with 7 tanks of fish. As I'm talking to you now, I can proudly call her a multimillionaire in fish. She managed many fish for people in Port Harcourt. I'm not here to advise her. I've never spoken to her in my life. I don't know her. But I'm just trying to say that she's a civil servant. And right now, she has a very big capacity of fish, managing it in her place in Port Harcourt. The person that trained me in fish farming is in Lafia, and he was a businessman. He was, according to him, he was always busy selling. He was selling machineries, these agricultural machineries. That is what he was selling. Yes, but it wasn't making him happy. So he decided to start fish farming in his house. So when he started, there were many challenges because he did not have a place to channel his water. What did he do? Simple. The next land near him, he bought it and he fenced it and he now channeled the water there. Now that place is now started planting plantain and banana in that region. So he doesn't need to spray the water again in the street for people to complain. He was now putting it in his own compound in another place where he's planting plantain. That way, the plantain will absorb the nutrients from there, and the people will not even complain, even if they want to complain, because they are not even seeing the channel of water. What is actually happening is that he's remodeling his farm. So smart people need to be very concerned about their retirement now. I saw a banker, he made a video, he says 16 years in bank. After 16 years, they are still paying him 130,000 naira. The truth is this: we can never talk about all the things that smart people need to do. We can't talk about all of them. But what we can talk about is that you need to now start planning your retirement. Even if it is not in agriculture, what about bonds? What about real estate? Whatever you choose to do, just know that smart people always, always, always retire broke and penniless. Do you want to be one of them? Please don't be. Don't be at all. Because at the end of the day, when that old age comes, nobody but yourself is going to save you. And the only time you can save yourself if you start now. Do you find value in this video? Please like, comment. I will see you soon. Cheers.